What's up, guys? Welcome back to Three Potatoes in a Pot. As always, it's your host, Gracie, along with A
Yep.
and Brody.
Hello.
All right. If there's a couple screams randomly, it is me, um, absolutely getting my butt handed to in a video game. So don't mind it. But we have something topical today.
We do.
We do. Would you like to read the article to us, Brody?
Sure, let me pull it back
Like
up
the
here.
title?
Electric car vandalized by climate control in Bristol. So,
Oh,
Ah.
of course it's
essentially, a
England.
Tesla got its tire popped, and the climate protesters left this note on the car. Attention, your gas guzzler kills. We've deflated one or more of your tires. We did this because driving around in your SUV has huge consequences. And there's a bunch of other explanations of why SUVs are terrible.
Okay,
And
so
this only happened to one other car too, along with it.
Yeah, from what the BBC article has.
I'd like to, since the note said one or more tires, I'd like to think this is just like a pre-drafted note.
Oh,
They
it
didn't even
definitely
like
is because it's typed
they,
out with uh like it's perfectly typed out with pictures and everything.
yeah,
Why are they being evasive? Just say how many tires you pop.
but
One
they
or more
don't
tires,
Here,
man.
I'll send it in Discord.
because this it's literally just one of the ones where they change like the truck or SUV, like the vehicle type.
Yeah,
Mm,
in an actual gas-powered car, did this too. They put climate criminal spray painted on the side.
That sucks. Let's hope they got
which I mean, I'm
money.
sure these people aren't living sustainable lives. Let's be honest here. Nobody, it's really hard to live 100% like waste free, like using recyclable things. So if they're so gung ho on being very like I don't think they all have electric vehicles and source locally and you know,
Yeah, no, and it's actually more wasteful to replace your perfectly fine gas car with a electric car just because it's electric. That's actually doing worse for the environment because you just wasted a
yeah,
whole car for no
yeah,
reason.
like what? Yeah, where do you think your cars go?
They they go to the car ranch.
The
They go
only
to
way
the
you help
big
the
car.
environment by buying an electric car is if you have to get a new car anyway.
They go to the big parking lot in the sky.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Well, at least we're not climate change deniers. Like my grandparents the other day, we were playing a game and it's like, have you played apples to apples before?
Maybe.
Mm-mm.
Well, basically there's a prompt and you have I think like seven cards and you have to pick a card for the prompt. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, but a
Okay.
lot cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it was, but somebody put down climate change, and my grandpa goes, "We don't believe in that here."
Was he
What?
serious about it?
Oh yeah.
All
Huh.
right. There's two
Like,
types of people who don't believe in climate change. One is a little bit more reasonable than the other. One they just don't believe it and refuse to present any facts behind it not being actually real. And then the other just believe that it's like a short-term thing of heating up and then cooling down again and heating up and cooling down again.
Yeah, because the Earth
um,
does that a lot.
Which I mean,
But
I don't agree with,
um,
but at least it's a better reason than just completely just saying, "Nah, it's fake."
for my Apology, just not it's fake. It's a ploy for the government or whatever.
Okay, that's even more stupid. The-
It's like,
yeah,
come on.
we're the
Come on,
American
you're
government.
old.
We're gonna make you buy electric cars for no reason.
Yeah, what? Also, you're old. Haven't you felt it? Like, I'm not even that old, but I understand, like, we don't get snow anymore. That's not like saying
While there's snow
weather
outside,
patterns don't change, but
Yeah, definitely over
there's
the
snow
last
right now, but
couple
I'm just saying,
years, it's just been getting worse.
yeah.
yeah, it's been
I,
getting, like, you can feel it.
Hmm. I mean, I don't ever hardly wear
And that's
my coat anymore. It's just no need for it.
and that's not me. Yeah, that's not me being like a like activist. That's just and also, how can you out of all the evidence that there is, how do you not believe any of that? How do you just turn your back to that?
Hmm. Truth of the matter
yeah.
is, I haven't even looked up much evidence behind it, but just from the observations I've made on my own, it s- seems quite. It seems
Exactly.
happening. Like,
And I mean, like Antarctica keeps having like its like highest ever like heat indexes and stuff like that. It's gotten up to the 70s, and I'm like, is that normal? No, I don't
The
think so.
the 70s as the positive.
Yeah, 70 degrees, like not Celsius. That
Yeah.
would be, wouldn't that kill you?
I think that would be very boring.
what is it?
What's 70 degrees Celsius? Is it
Oh,
somewhere around like
that's
That's
not
really
boiling,
hot.
but that's really
that's
hot.
like one that's like 180, right?
Uh,
Yeah,
well, I don't know.
I it's
I can look
it's
it up.
not normal.
No. Though there are some
Wait,
green parts in Antarctica.
It
didn't
is
you say our most of our
158
listeners
degrees
come from?
Fahrenheit.
What is it, Brody?
158 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
okay. I was a little bit off. What?
Um, shoot, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, that is
I mean, climate change is really just this it's quite simple science behind it. I mean, even without the going into CO2 blocking, going in the atmosphere and doing everything, it's like the more, if you think about it, the more people you have in a single room, the hotter it gets, right? Because body heat and stuff. The more people we have on the
yeah.
planet, the hotter it gets, even slightly. And the more cars we have that put out heat, the hotter it gets,
Mhm.
among every other thing that pollutes.
Yeah. So since we're on the topic of climate change, what do you guys think is the best way to stop?
Uh, I think just a gradual change over time to more clean ways. There's not much we can do to just stop cold turkey, to say. It's just got to be
Yeah.
gradual and it'll fix over time as long as we keep making the right decisions.
And I
Yeah.
think we need to enforce habits among like younger kids now, like get them into recycling and stuff like that, and you know, find and make it cheaper, obviously, because
Yeah, I mean,
if we
as we
make that
start
stuff
to,
more accessible,
yeah, once we start to transition out of uh, gas cars, they'll become later generations. The only thing they'll know is electric cars.
yeah,
Just like how older generations only knew gas cars. So it'll just change over time among as everyone gets older.
Yeah.
yeah, it can't be super slow, but it needs to be, uh, because like we don't have enough time to make it painfully slow, but if we take our time, I think we can do it.
Truth of the matter is, I think we will be safe so long as we get we'll still take damage no matter what we do. But I think if we get it figured out
Yeah.
by the time we're in our elderly age, Gen Z is in its elderly age, we will be safe and the planet should hopefully be able to be on a good track again.
Yeah. But at least in America, America is a country it's huge. It's so vast that sometimes the only option to get from place to place is to use a gas car.
Yeah, which
So
is
Yeah.
at
why
least for
it's got
that,
to be there for gas cars have to stay around for basically as long until they wear out and they're done.
yeah. Also, they've
Oh,
got to
can I
figure out how to
suggest
get
something real quick?
like electricity up there. Yeah, well,
I cannot stand people who don't like electric vehicles just because they don't make engine noises, you know?
Yeah, that's completely
Real
stupid.
car snob.
In fact, I mean, Porsche, they made
You can
the
add
Taycan,
the
and it's
sound.
yeah, which I guess if you really like it, then that is a fine option. But if you don't like that, then well, that sucks for you.
whoa. So
I think
she,
another big problem with pollution. Oh, never mind. Go
so
first.
well, it's kind of unrelated, but also so when Brody was talking about, or never mind. Hang on. Let me rethink. Uh, so eventually, automatic cars got so like advanced that you wouldn't hear a gear shift sound because even though it was
Yeah.
happening, but people didn't think that the like it was shifting, so they had to manually add that gear shift sound back in, which I think is really stupid.
Yeah,
Anyways, that was a family mess.
I think one way that also is help like, poorer countries, they can't really do this stuff, and so they do have to throw like their garbage and their like waste into like rivers and stuff like that. So if we were able to help them, that would also help us out because they wouldn't have such like such poor environments to where they would get sick and stuff like that because I mean that is a problem in like poor countries where they have no way to dispose of some of their waste so they just throw it in nearby rivers and wherever they can.
yeah, we're definitely gonna have to figure out some way to almost in a way kickstart uh, lesser developed countries because they're just starting to get to the stage where they're using coal and fossil fuels in order to uh, innovate. But if we say no, you can't do that anymore, we have to give them something better.
Yeah, and I mean I do like the programs. I've seen people who, take people's like garbage and like for money, to recycle it later.
Yeah,
But I also think there is like I appreciate how bigger corporations are getting like a little more heat for that stuff because they do produce a lot because a lot of people go like if you were to go to Disney or like Universal, they do produce a lot of waste, way more than like one person can do. So I feel like you always have to if we're going to make any difference, we need to do it on a large scale. Like we need to figure out how to do it on a large scale because one community using electric vehicles and recycling isn't going to do much.
yeah. There's one thing though, we I think no matter how bad the climate gets, we should never get rid of plastic straws. No
Either that,
paper straws,
or
please. Just
either
no.
that, or make
I
paper
like
straws
metal.
better.
Yeah, but for going to a restaurant and
Paper
stuff,
stars are kind
just
of a pain.
no paper straws.
Or just not use straws. Like
That too, that would work.
there's the only lids really only do so much. Like if your drink drops on the ground, that lid's coming off anyways.
Well, they could start making lids all be like coffee cup lids that just have the hole. So that way, if it like splashes up when you hit a bump in your car, the splash out is very minimal.
Y- Yeah, that. hmm Yeah, so I've got a couple thoughts on how to solve climate change decently, quickly. So one is to like switching to electric cars is nice, but cars aren't really the ones causing most of the pollution. It's jet engines and
Yeah.
like big cargo haulers like ships. They create so much more pollution. So I say instead of focusing on trying to make cars electric, we focus on making those things more sustainable. So
And celebrities get a lot of backlash for using like private jets and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like I don't know what you want them to do because they'd probably get like mass mobbed
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I
if
mean,
if
planes
they went on a
and
regular commercial airline.
yeah, planes are just hard to. Planes and boats are harder to innovate to be electric than a car because with a plane, the amount of risk we put in by trying to innovate the plane, it has a lot more complications than
yeah,
a vehicle.
that's fair.
And just adding weight of lithium batteries to a plane, it just
Well, I mean,
it'll take a lot of scientific innovations to make viable.
uh-huh, yeah, and I don't
Maybe
know if
they
this
do
will.
small.
Go ahead.
Maybe they start with the smaller versions first, and then work their way up to the huge jets.
Yeah, which I mean, people are working on electric planes, but it's
Yeah.
just a complicated matter and will take possibly more time than we think.
We've got to just start slingshotting things. We get a giant slingshot, and
Oh gosh.
we it's a bunch of gliders, and we just it's there's gonna be a bunch of layovers, but we got a slingshot. A slingshot can only go so far. But also,
Reject plane, do train.
yeah, but also the trade system is in the U.S. is horrible.
That is very true.
We'll always need planes at the end of the day or something faster,
Yeah,
but I definitely think farther train systems or in the United States could be wonderful. Like similar to how Europe has. I know we can't do it at that scale because we're a larger in land mass, but the
yeah.
Yeah.
train
And
system
cities
is
are a lot
amazing.
more spread out.
Yeah.
So,
It's
but
just how the US is designed. So
yeah.
we have to do it differently than they did it.
So I don't know if this is a viable option, but one way I've thought of, like make big cargo haulers more sustainable, is just not to use them at all. Use blimps.
Blimps?
Yeah, because so blimps they don't really need that much propulsion. They're just really big things of air.
That's true,
So
but
we
there's you can only carry so much.
yeah, that's true, but either that or something that's a little bit less viable, just put a mini nuclear reactor onto big cargo ships.
If it was cheaper, that would be viable.
Okay, which renewable energy source do you think would be best
Oh,
for our area specifically? Like
our
our
area?
country? Well, I mean, it depends for every place.
I
Well,
mean, controversial opinion, but nuclear.
nuclear
I
for
mean,
the
I always have I've always kind of nuclear obviously it's the only reason why people are afraid of it is because of meltdowns. It's like
The
which
risk is
only
high, but
like
the
it's a
reward is also great.
only like three actual
yeah,
like huge nuclear meltdowns have happened in history, right?
yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And I
And
mean,
don't isn't there nuclear power in Texas?
Oh, there's nuclear power everywhere.
yeah,
France is almost
it's
Okay,
exclusively
yeah,
run on nuclear
yeah,
power last
France
time
has
I
a
checked.
lot of It's
I
the
mean,
only
I mean on
yeah.
our side.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, oh,
it's not huge, but we have quite a few plants.
Yeah,
the the only thing that I'm worried about with nuclear power is not the meltdowns, but the waste. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's only so much space that there's only so much we can do with the nuclear waste at the moment.
but the truth of the matter is, no matter
yeah,
what we do, it's going to produce waste. Because solar panels, they only last so long to where, oh, we need new solar panels now. What do we do with the old ones? Landfill. Wind
Yeah,
turbines, what do you do with them when they break? Landfill.
wind turbines are incredibly expensive to fix.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And
and
hard to
dangerous.
transport the parts.
Yeah,
And
and according
yeah,
to our environmental science teacher, they're unesthetically pleasing.
which I mean is fair, but
It's
also
true.
they take up a lot of land as well.
I think
Yes,
that wind turbines
they
are
also
good for
disturb the
rural
birds.
areas. Like small rural towns, like a town of like 2,000 people, you got one turbine running it with like a battery backup station in the event it fails.
I think you need a lot more than one turbine if it's unless if it's like the windiest place on Earth.
I don't know. I just something like that.
Because what was I gonna say? For me, at least, um, right now it's nuclear, but maybe in the future it might be solar power because people are making advancements in solar energy.
Yeah,
So eventually it'll take up less space and produce less waste. Also, we need to figure out how to recycle pretty much every material,
Yeah, but
which is,
that's hard.
yeah, but that'll, if we can figure that out, then uh, that'll create a lot less waste.
Yeah. Which we
Also, a
definitely
tangent.
need to do that, but it's not something we should look to as a immediate fix because it's not going to be
Yeah,
immediate.
also a tangent. Why does recycling cost money? Like, why do you have to
I
pay
know.
for people if the government wants us to be more sustainable, then make recycling free and less work.
Yeah. Um, I've
Hmm.
started to, as my parents have explained more and more of how taxes and stuff work. I'm like, well, I don't want to give them my money. I don't want to do that.
What work?
What?
Oh, taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like it's
Taxes
yeah,
are really weird.
It's like they take too much, but also they take too much for what you get for it.
yeah,
We're going to take your stuff and we're not going to use the money for important things. We're going to use it for unimportant things. You know those roads that have like a gajillion potholes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. You know our school system? Yeah, maybe a little bit of money, but not really.
Which I mean,
but you know
local
what?
stuff makes more sense. Like,
900 billion towards the military.
yeah, local
Huh?
taxes make more sense. They go to roads, schools, and stuff. But then you have the federal taxes, which, yeah, we need some to go for military and everything. But some of it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean like what what has our military been doing recently?
Yeah, so
Just being a deterrent.
according to Google, the US spends around $876 billion on its military. Doing what? The last two wars we
Exactly.
fought, we've lost.
Literally. I hate it when people are like, guys, we won Nam. We shouldn't have
The,
we
o-
shouldn't have even gone to war.
the only reason we won Nam is because we left it without losing as many soldiers as we could have.
Yeah.
We still lost a
We
lot.
fought a war for 20 years for nothing.
You know what I think that could save us a lot of money? Getting rid of a lot of our military presence in Europe, because there's still a lot over there, and those countries can pay for their own dang military at this point.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, they don't need that much military. We need to just stay out of other people's business. Focus on homeland, like defense, not.
Yeah, we need to stop paying for other people's wars.
Yeah, there's really only one country that we really need to have a large military and worry about for, and that's China. In the event that we went to war with them, our navy would be the strongest defense we would need.
Yeah.
If we went to war with China, the world is done. We're dead. It's over.
Well, if we. Well, everyone likes to flaunt that. Oh, people are gonna use nukes and stuff. No one's gonna use nukes. Like everyone, no one's stupid enough to because they know. Even North Korea knows that if they launch nukes at the U.S., the U.S. will launch nukes back. And then what happens there? Everyone dies. No one's going to use nukes.
Yeah. Which it's not feasible for us to invade China anyway. So the war we'd be fighting is a naval war in keeping them within their borders of the country.
Yeah, what I guess is we'd, because we've got a lot of allies in Asia, so we'll either fund their militaries or send troops over to help them fight, like, because we'll use them as a base.
Really what we'd need to do to defeat China would be a small special forces team. Like we damaged their air defense systems enough to where we could send a small troop into the capital and change the government from there. Because an actual land invasion doesn't seem viable.
Yeah,
I
which
don't
a
know
war with
too much.
China doesn't seem viable on both sides because if we go to war with China, China loses a bunch of money because we're buying a bunch of stuff from them. And
Exactly.
if China goes to war with us, well, we also lose a bunch of products.
Yeah, overall
So
doesn't make any sense to go to war. But since both countries have such a massive military and only keep building up, each
it's
side keeps
eventually
after
gonna happen.
building up.
Which what I
I
believe
don't
is
know
gonna happen
much about
is
that, but okay. Oh, my ankles hurt.
what I think is gonna happen is China isn't gonna go to war directly with the US. They're gonna try to do something stupid and try to take over Taiwan. And the US
Mm.
will uh and since we're pretty close friends with Taiwan, we're gonna help them.
Yeah, which we have to defend Taiwan because otherwise we're going to lose all of our computer chip production, and then we're really screwed.
Uh-huh.
I think probably the
Which
biggest threat
My
to
heart goes out to the civilians of
well,
China
yeah.
because they're not their government doesn't care about them, and I'm sure it's so crowded over there and
Oh yeah.
yep. I mean that's the truth
not the
with any
cleanest
country.
air. Well, yeah, obviously.
No one ever ends up caring about the civilians in a war, really.
That is my big thing with the Israel Hamas conflict because so many innocent Palestinians are being slaughtered right now. And Israel keeps claiming, "Oh, it's a Hamas base," and like, what do you mean? Then they're like human shields, and it's like, if there was a hostage situation, would you shoot through the hostage to get the person, the bad guy, essentially? No. They're doing nothing for those poor children who are dying every day.
Well, yeah, this is a very confusing war because in my opinion everyone's in the wrong. Hamas fired first.
I
Israel is purposely continuing the war. and no one around, like none of the Arabic countries around the fighting is letting refugees in on both sides. Everyone,
I do not
everyone's
believe it is a I do not believe that Palestine is in the wrong. Their land has been slowly sucked away from them, and now their captors are claiming to be the victim. They are not letting civilians take rainwater. They're they have nothing, and there are so many children that are left under rubble each day.
yeah, well, I mean that's how all wars are, but it is sad.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it's
very
sad what's
sad,
happened to
and
the civilians,
not
but any war, there's always going to end up being casualties, which I don't advocate for at all, but it's just the sad truth we have to deal with.
well, yes, it's the sad truth, but when you're looking at the like Israel's casualties to Palestinian casualties, and then they have the gall to say that they're giving them 4 hours to get out when there's no way to get out. Like they say, like, oh, we'll stop fighting for a little bit so people can get out. There's no way out.
Well, there's nowhere to go either.
Exactly. So
Mm,
what? So why even say that? Because we all know they're not going to do that.
yeah, that definitely seems a bit ridiculous because, like Aiden said, no surrounding countries are letting in refugees, so it's basically just look good for the press.
Yeah. And then Israel declined a ceasefire along with um so like the UN voted on a ceasefire to hold negotiations. Israel declines, Saudi Arabia declined, the US declined, and pretty much all of the like allies and pretty much all of the
Which
US
which
allies declined.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like this is a literal. I cannot express enough how much this is a genocide of these people. It is ethnic cleansing. And I know some people are like, no, it's really not, but they are treating these people like they are terrorists, essentially. They think that every civilian is Hamas and that they need to be wiped clean. There have been multiple people who say that they're going to turn the Gaza into a parking lot
Yeah, I get
Which
because
it.
of
is
all the bombs.
You can't you can't speak for everyone at the end of the day because I went and looked up some stuff about it earlier, and someone mentioned that you can't put all the be put everyone who's in Israel say that they're evil for wanting that because not everyone wants that, and you can't say
I'm
everyone in
not saying
Palestine's
that. That
evil because not everyone wants that either.
I'm not saying that every Israeli citizen is saying that. In fact, some of them have spoken up and are like, "Hey, this isn't right," but there's nothing they can do. That's like saying, because it irks me to no end when people are like, "Oh, you don't like what Israel's doing, then you're anti-Semitic," which is like that's not
eh,
how it works.
I'm against the country, not the people.
Exactly. That is like saying because that is like saying that if you're not Palestine, you're against Muslims.
Yeah,
It's like that
that's
is a bold proclamation.
Exactly.
which this war has been pretty large on propaganda as well. Like, there's really no way anybody can know what's true or not until after the war ends, probably.
Yeah, that's also
So
true
And
because we don't
honestly,
have
I
we only get to take what Israel says and what Palestine says as the truth, really, because we're
which
not like
who
directly
knows if they're
involved with having soldiers on the ground
yeah,
there.
which I mean, I saw a video where this person was pretending that they were being attacked by Hamas, but it was really just an audio of like stuff going in the background. It's like none of and can we talk about the hostages for a second?
I'm not
Because
too familiar
hosta
with that, but
I don't.
hostages of Hamas have waved they like so people who have been taken by Hamas have waved to back to them. They've been smiling. They come out. Palestinian hostages come back with broken bones, bruises, beaten.
Yeah. So, there was I was reading a comment with a bunch of replies on it on YouTube about a video like detailing the war going on, and one of them related Israel to like what Russia is doing with Ukrainian casualties, where Ukrainian POWs, but worse. And I mean,
Hmm.
it, I mean that makes. But this war has been like everyone knew this was going to happen sometime. Is this
What makes me
everybody's
really sad
just letting out their anger at each other, which is stupid. It shouldn't happen. But
what makes me really sad is nobody like why we're having like why was there such a rush to Ukraine but there is no rush to Palestine? Like why are we taking sides with something that seems like I don't know, it seems easier for me to pick a side, but I'm not I'm just one person, but I don't know. Why are we taking sides with a
when both
a
sides are wrong,
country? Yeah.
because I mean
maybe
this has
maybe
been
the
built
truth of the
up.
matter is we shouldn't really necessarily take sides with either. Maybe we should. It should just be the side you should be on is the side to protect the innocent people of both Israel and of Palestine. The people who didn't want the war to begin with, those are the people that we should figure out a way to help somehow, if
Well,
there's any way.
so I don't know um, why like there was so much support to Israel and Palestine, and I don't think it's because of racism, because even Arabic countries aren't helping Palestine.
Yeah,
So it just doesn't
I
make any sense.
can't I can't stand when people are like, "This is merely about religion." It's like, you don't have to be religious to see that there is true evil going on right now.
Yeah,
Like,
which the reason the I mean, if you dig down really deep, I'm not saying religion is the problem, like the
yeah,
overall thing of this
I'm
war,
not saying that
but
religion doesn't play a part, but
yeah, if you dig down really deep, like in their history, when I think it was the UK still owned them, they made a mistake by giving each religion their like own little land, which shouldn't really happen. That's
yeah.
that's caused too many conflicts.
The start of the
Yeah,
rivalry
so
is because of
now
religion, but the start of the wars maybe is not.
Well,
the
the
start of the
start of the
war,
war is because like everyone's grown up to hate the other religion. So
yeah, if you live in if you live with your captor for so long, you grow to hate them. It's like I'm not condoning what they did, but you can see there's only so much people can take before rebels arise. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I read a story someone wrote about they were a Palestinian and they kind of they haven't changed sides or really they don't want a side or something I guess, but they were grown up to hate Israel, they said, like, that was what they were taught from growing up. And I'm sure same thing similar in Israel too.
Yeah, so that's probably why this war has gone the way that it is. It's because everybody was taught to hate the other, which is,
Exactly, because these people don't see who they're fighting as other people. They see them as the reason why they don't have like all of their land because they think this is their land, the Holy Land or whatever.
yeah, well, yeah, I feel, yeah, I was gonna say something, but then I realized it probably doesn't make very much sense. But I mean, what's the, what's the chance that both um both religions chose Jerusalem as like their big holy city, as like a big holy city for a lot of religions? It's weird
Yeah.
It just makes sense
because
from where the world kind of originated.
that's like because I guess Jerusalem was a big city. It was probably a big trade center as well. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, uh,
Yeah, I think there's way too much dehumanizing in this war. Like each side thinks that the person they're fighting is not human.
Yeah,
yep,
and I think the loss of human life for any reason is almost never good. The world needs to start working together.
Yeah, I mean families have been wiped off the map. Homes have been leveled. It's not good.
yeah, and it doesn't help
And
that
I don't
the that one side has technology from the U.S.
and I-
So that just causes the one side of this to be even bigger.
and I cannot stand the posts. Like the internet is can either be the worst or the best place during a time like this, and it is not the best time.
I mean, it really never is.
It never is, but some of some of these posts that IDF like soldiers have are like really sickening,
Oh, all right. What's one of these
trying to make
posts?
and and then people from Israel trying to defend those actions. It just makes my head hurt.
All problems in the world almost always lead from something going too far, like too extreme.
Yeah, because I feel like because Hamas is definitely are definitely extremists. So are almost.
Yes.
I'm not calling Hamas terrorists, but so are all the other terrorists.
Well, I mean, there is a
Yeah.
certain group that is uh
Well, I mean, if they are terrorists, then so is the IDF. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just it depends what side you're on. And it's
Like,
no one knows what's going on about it.
and it's hard for me to like have good evidence because I mean, I don't you never know sometimes. And just like when it came out that there were 40 Israeli babies were decapitated and that was a lie. Like sometimes I'm like I don't know what to say because I could say the wrong thing
there's just not
and
enough
then
good
it sounds
information.
bad, you know?
There's not enough good information to go off of base like cuz like I said before, we're only getting our information from Palestine or Israel, which each side will make the
Mhm.
other side look bad and make their side look good.
Yeah, because and also it's hard to know like actually happening, especially with U.S. Um, news sites most of the time being either Republican or Democrat.
Mhm.
So it's like each side wants to make the other side look bad. It's hard to know.
And the thing is, like, not many this isn't a very, like, I don't think most, like, Democrats really care, you know? This is not a thing where it's like, "Oh, the Republicans but side with Israel and the Democrats side with Palestine." It's really just it's really sad because
Which, yeah, that it's not. It seems like the Democrats don't really care for war, and the Republicans love war.
I cannot stand because I don't really side with any party because the flaws of Democrats is that they there is so much wrong in the country that they don't even think about other, like their impact on others, you know? They're very
Yeah,
egotistical.
who liberals?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
so are
very
Republicans.
much you must abide to my rules, and if you don't, then I won't be happy.
Yeah, which is why I just vote for whatever president. When I vote, when I'll just vote for whatever president I think is going to do the best and help the country the most. And if I don't like any of them,
Exactly.
I'll vote for independent.
They perpetuate, cancel culture. I'm not saying that it's not okay to be sensitive because I'm a very sensitive person, but you can only get upset about so many things. So
And
many trivial things, you know what I mean?
yeah, some of them get upset over stupid things, and some of them get upset for other people, which is
Oh
so
my
stupid.
gosh, I cannot stand that.
So, I saw this one video. This dude went around with like a sombrero and a. This dude's white, by the way. He went around in a sombrero and poncho and asked. So he asked a bunch of liberals if this was okay. They said no, of course not, because it's quote unquote cultural appropriation. But when he asked actual
Ugh.
Mexican people, they said they loved it.
Yeah, that was a Prouder You video.
Was it? I don't remember
Ugh.
hearing why.
Oh, I can't stand him.
Who?
But I feel the word cultural appropriation has been so diluted just with um, like people getting braids and stuff like that, like
Okay, that's too far. Like,
But
some
really,
well,
people
why
braid
shouldn't we be working to merge all of our cultures together and make one that everybody is a part of?
what my point with that is that some like white not like white specifically, like they are white, but like other countries have braids. I'm pretty sure
well, yeah,
let
every
me let me fact check that real
pretty
quick,
much.
but it's like
So, what's your argument? Are
What?
you s- are you saying that?
I'm saying like other cultures have like these box like how black people have really tight woven braids, but there are other cultures that have these tight woven braids, and some people are thinking that they're in cultural appropriation when really they are I'm pretty sure it's like Slavic braids. I could be completely wrong, but it's like countries over there.
Well, almost
Yeah,
every.
like Slavic braids look like box braids and stuff like that. So people get upset for that, but it's like that is their culture.
Well, yeah, oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, every culture has created a way to put their hair in a up in a way that looks nice because that's just it's easier to do that. So
Yeah,
There's two
because like the
ways with that.
Vikings did it, the Germans did it, the Native Americans did it, probably.
It's
yeah.
if you're doing it to be mocking or something, or like to be just to make a point or something. But if you're doing it because you like it and because that's like just because you like the style or something, like what's the problem with that?
Yeah, if you're doing it with malicious intent, obviously that's cultural appropriation. But if you're doing like I don't know, maybe you are a white kid with a black mom and you want to look like your mom. I don't know. And if your hair can handle that, I feel like there shouldn't be that much debate over that, you know?
Yeah, or like back to the sombrero
Like if
thing.
a little kid,
I mean, what's so wrong with
yeah,
that? I mean, it's a nice hat. It's a nice
Yeah,
hat.
it was created for utility. It wasn't created just because it has to be created by a specific culture doesn't mean it belongs to that specific culture.
Yeah.
as long
That
as you're not specifically going up to like Mexican people or like Latino people and saying like, "Hey, I'm stealing your thing," and as long as they don't care, I don't think we should worry about it then, because the people who get so worked up about this aren't even a part of this, you know?
I think by saying that just because you're this, you can't do this, and just because you're this, you can't do this, that's just separating us even more.
Yeah.
yeah,
Which I mean, keeping your culture alive is still a good thing, and I think that's why some people appreciate people who still wear like certain things is because they're keeping their culture alive.
Yeah,
mhm.
which there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so Gracie, I want I,
Hmm.
I so he so Brody, you're more Republican, Gracie, you're more liberal. I want to see what your guys' opinions are on a like a Netherlands cultural
Oh,
culture
the
thing.
blackface?
Yeah, that thing. I want to hear your guys' opinions on it.
What exactly is it?
I'm
So in
Pete.
the Netherlands, yeah, he's called Black Pete. They do a big like parade thing. It and there's just one character called Black Pete. He's black. He's like a helper of Santa. I don't, maybe I haven't looked much into
Um,
it. I don't know. He's a helper of whoever they're celebrating. And instead of just doing a black person, they do a white person that does blackface. So I want to hear your opinions on this.
yeah, because it's a caricature, if you know what I mean, because it is specifically a white person wearing an afro wig and hoop earrings and red lips to make their lips bigger.
Yeah, and it's not like they're doing it to hurt people.
Yeah, no, I understand this has been woven into their culture.
And you gotta remember, the Netherlands is primarily a white country because they're in Europe. They didn't have the same bringing over uh,
Okay,
Africans
okay,
into the
so
country.
Black Pete isn't a black person. I'm pretty sure he's a chimney sweep
Oh yeah,
that has gotten soot all over him.
Oh well, then
So I feel
that's
like
not
the
a,
best
really a problem. Then it shouldn't be
yeah,
made
that
out to
makes
be
no,
such a
because
problem.
I honestly, if you're going, I don't think you should paint him all black then. I guess you could just put soot on his face
Yeah,
because,
maybe a costume change is needed.
yeah, because I don't think, yeah, I found another picture of this guy. He just looks like he has a dirty face instead of it being thick black paint. It looks like he has soot on his face, which I think would be a better way.
yeah.
But I don't think that,
If they choose to just stick with the pure black, then it's not a big problem. Because blackface is really only a problem in the US because our history with like racism and stuff.
It's all
yeah,
about
because
intent.
blackface was a way to make a caricature out of black people.
Yeah, to make fun of them. But in the Netherlands, it's not. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very complex thing, and I don't wanna really pick
We're
one thing over the other because I don't live there.
yeah, viewers.
Yeah.
We are not Dutch. We promise you that much.
We live in Ashwaubenon.
Hashtag not Dutch. Of course.
We live in the perfect town of Ashwaubenon. There are no problems here. We just are the most
Other than a
perfect
bit
town
of
in the world.
alcoholism, but that's normal.
If you come to Ashwaubenon,
We live
we are the most
near the most
advanced
dangerous city in the
technology.
world. Not the most dangerous city in the world. Most dangerous city in the US. St.
Portland,
Louis. That makes me laugh every time.
St. Louis.
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis is like I looked. St. Louis is weirdly dangerous.
Oh yeah.
I know.
But I went there, and the worst problem I had was um there was this person who was clearly on drugs. He was getting arrested, and she was yelling at the cop. She did it while pointing at my mom, and then while the cops weren't falling for it, she pointed at the next person. It's that was the biggest thing that I encountered there. But then in Colorado, I forgot which city it was, but there's like in a bigger city in Colorado, the homeless uh the homeless problem was a lot worse than I remember St. Louis having. I don't I don't know why Colorado has such a bad homeless problem.
Um, real change here, but your mom worked with my mom at the concessions,
Uh-huh.
and she said that she was disappointed too with how many lines you got
Uh-huh.
because Elijah
Oh, oh,
didn't get that many and you didn't get that many,
nope.
and you have to be at every practice.
Uh-huh. I don't know why now. Dylan's little brother. I don't know how he got such a big role. I don't know
I
how
don't
That
Dylan's
should
know.
have been
brother
you.
got such a big. Yeah, because I mean I'm fine with a smaller role, but still, come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Our two directors do casting very differently.
Yeah,
Which I'm hoping change after this year because I'm pretty sure the only reason we did the play we're doing is because we have more girl seniors than boys.
yeah.
Yep, so next year they'll pick a play probably that has more male leads than female leads.
Well,
Nope.
yeah, and I'm sure my thing is probably just going to be the love interest, which I'm fine with because I can have, and
Yeah.
I'm also excited for our senior year because I feel like I I don't know if I got to pick the musical, like if we did Beauty and the Beast, then you guys could pick the play.
Well,
You know
Beauty
what
and
I
the
mean?
Beast is honestly a pretty good choice, at least for the casting that we've got right now, because there's
Yeah.
two big because Dylan will be gone by then. There's two big roles in Beauty and
Hmm.
the Beast. There's Gaston and then there's the Beast. So I think
Yeah,
that
that's
would
true, but I didn't know if you guys would want to pick something out
I don't
for the
care.
play.
I don't do choices.
That's true.
I
I
want to do
don't
something
do
like Clue
choices.
again, desperately.
What
Clue
Gosh,
was
that
really
was fun.
fun.
Clue was fun, yeah. I want to do something like Clue.
Because everyone I
Except
Yeah.
talked to
Not
loved
anything
watching that.
serious.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I love humorous. The musical
Yeah.
can be more serious, but the play I kind of want to be a humor play.
Yeah, because our play this year was a snoozer.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it made no sense really.
I know it was a last resort kind of thing, but like, come on.
Still, did we really have to pick that?
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, the only comedy in that was my character, with slight
That's very true.
screaming.
You know what I just realized? I lost my role as comedic relief. Brody's a comedic relief for this play now.
Yep.
I
They're
love
stealing my
Brody's
job.
line in this play.
I like being the king. It's fun.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know. I was Michael in the first one we did, which, boring. Then Professor Plum. I liked playing Professor Plum. He was fun. And then Colin, big part, but not. He was kind of fun. But the king. I'm not the main guy, but I'm also not. I'm not too much of a side thing.
You got
Yeah.
You've been pretty lucky with your casting.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, I've got
It's
the
because you're not a
big
beast.
parts most times.
It's because he's a dinner.
Justice for us, mezzo
Justice,
sopranos and basses.
justice for the lower singers. How long have we been going?
1 hour.
I don't know. Oh,
Should we end it here, or do we have
I
any
I
much more to
I
talk
think we
about?
shall.
I got one more thing to mention.
Okay.
Did you see, for the first time in years, Microsoft is changing keyboards?
I did see that. I don't know what it meant.
They're adding the Copilot button.
Huh?
The what?
The Copilot. It's a
Is
weird
that
thing.
like it's an AI, right?
Yep. Do you see, Aiden, on you have Windows 11, right?
I would imagine so.
On your taskbar, right next to the search, there's something that says pre. There's a symbol and there's like an icon that says pre. That's Copilot.
Hmm.
Uh,
My
just an interesting thing.
yeah. Oh, I see.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you got a fun fact for us this time?
Hmm. Uh, Hang on. Let me find one. So this one's kind of stupid, but the sun weighs 2,000 million tons.